Alright guys, here we go in a 2020 Silverado Duramax diesel, the light duty one. We're gonna kind of go for a little loop here. Yeah, let's go take it for a spin. I'm gonna do a small MPG loop. I just reset it. I'll actually reset it when I pull out here. And I'm gonna try to do the same exact loop on my Ram, which I've got the Hemi with the 392 towing gear set. So this one's got the, I don't really know, I think it's got, I want to say 342s with the 10-speed and the diesel. I'm not entirely sure, but I'm gonna do a couple miles on the highway, kind of driving it how I would drive my truck, so nothing crazy. Get it up to about 75. Here, I'll reset it here as I'm pulling on. There we go, reset. Get it up to about 75 miles an hour cruise if traffic allows me to, and we'll see what she kind of pulls along the way. Okay. The mirrors are definitely a little different mirrors. I mean, you can see them, how they kind of mount. They mount out further. I mean, I don't know. They claim it gives you better visibility. I don't really know if they give you better visibility per se, but they're different. And I've never driven a Silverado, gonna be honest with you guys, so I'm trying to go through. All right, so this is the instant. I'll kind of show what I'm doing. So I'm not even doing 70 miles an hour right now, but I should note that it's pretty windy today. We're talking about 20 to 25 mile an hour winds, so I mean, you can kind of hear it. But I'll give you my first impression so far. I mean, the truck, it feels a little bit rougher in the rear end. I know that the Silverados have more payload than my Ram. My Ram is a pretty loaded up Laramie. So it's got the panel roof and heated cooled seats, nav. It's a heavier truck than, you know, this one is an LT, so this one would be more comparable to a Bighorn. So my truck's got a couple 100 pounds extra, and my payload on my truck is just shy of 1,300 pounds. I know it seems really low, but I'll have to check the door on this one. But it definitely feels a lot stiffer in the back. Like going over some undulations and bumps and stuff, you kind of feel that back end move around a little bit more than I would in mine. But all right, so now that I've kind of got it clear here, let me kind of bring the speed up a little bit more. See if I can't see. I don't even know how to use this cruise control. Is that set? No. Set. 74. Set it to 75. All right. I'm gonna get back on and do the same exact thing going the other way. That way we can get, you know, both ways. I know this is only short, gonna be about 10 miles, but the dealership is loaning this to me. So I'm not gonna go out and put 100 miles on this truck. Just kind of wanted to give initial impressions, see how it feels, because I've never driven the 3-liter diesel. I gotta say, so far, it's very, very smooth. The diesel, you hear a little bit of clatter, but it's very unnoticeable, really. There hasn't been any lag. The turbo seems to kick in right away. I'll actually get on it right here from about 20 miles an hour, and we'll see what it does for you guys. Okay. Definitely doesn't pull like a Hemi, but I tell you what, that's quicker than the Eco Diesel. That's very linear feeling. All right, so we're gonna be pulling in here soon. Back to the dealership. We're going for it. Let's see what it shows. So 21.8 over 12.7 miles. That was me trying to be, driving it pretty much like most people would. I got on it that one time, but I used the cruise. And considering the amount of wind we had, and the truck was not 100% warmed up when I began, so that you got to think that's going to hurt it just a little bit. I think 22 MPG on this run is pretty dang good. All right, guys, we're in the Ram. So that Duramax actually had a 323, is it 323 rear axle ratio? So I was a little off there, it wasn't 321. But here we go, I'm gonna reset that. Oh, let me go. Okay, it's 1500, where am I at here? There we go, 16.3 volt, okay to reset. Merging on, gonna go the same route that I took the other one. And we'll see what we do. The other one, I think, what were we at, 22, 21.7? Like that. Wow, it's kind of cold in here, so I think my screen has fog on it. Hopefully that'll clear up in a second. You can hear the wind. Man, getting back in this truck compared to the LT, it's definitely a lot more lavish. I mean, that's why it's hard to compare the two. So, wind noise between the two, similar. I mean, I've got the panel roof in mine. Like I said, my truck is heavier, more optioned. I mean, looking at the mirrors, I like the way the Ram mirrors kind of stick out a little more to the side, and they both sides actually have your little bubble, the blind spot bubble, whereas the Silverado only had on one side. Comparing the two rear legroom wise, I got into the back of the Silverado. The rear legroom is very similar on them both. I'm obviously a Ram person. I'm trying not to be biased here. And as you can see, I'm turning over 2,000 RPM right now. I've got the 392 towing gears. This truck's rated to tow about 11,500 pounds. I'll kind of slow to 20 or get on at 20 and just mat it so you can see the difference. I mean, the diesel, I think I got up to about 80. So here we go. Well, 24. So that was about, Hemi definitely pulls a lot harder than the diesel, but I mean, that's to be expected. You're talking 277 horsepower compared to 395. Like I said, this is a very apples to oranges comparison, but you're gonna get people who cross shop. They're gonna say, how does the Hemi do compared to the diesel, or is it worth it? And the main takeaway here is gonna be you know, my truck is just about the worst the worst configuration for MPG in a Ram. So this will be a pretty bad representation of what Rams do, whereas the Silverado is arguably the best configuration. So at least you'll be able to say, hey, worst case scenario, look at what I'm doing between the two. But so I'm getting off here. I'm obviously not going to pull back into the dealer. I'm just going to go to the stoplight and get back on. But here we go. Let's see where we're at. Coming to the stop. This is where I viewed it. Right here is where I viewed it with the Silverado. So there you go.